Stand right here, sir. Raise your right hand facing the honor.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Sergeant Browning, could you state your first and last name?
Jesse Browning,
And for the benefit of our jurors, could you spell your first and last name?
JESSE BROWNING.
And where are you employed?
Memphis Police Department.
In what capacity?
At the multi-agency gang unit.
And have you attained a certain rank? I call you Sergeant Browning, or in fact Sergeant Browning.
Sergeant Brown.
And were you tasked with the investigation involving the homicide of Adolph Thornton Jr.?
I was.
And how did you become involved with that investigation?
My team was tasked sometime, some of my team tasked sometime in December when it was revealed.
December of 2021?
21, yes.
Okay.
December 21. That there was more than just a simple murder. It kind of turned into more of a conspiracy.
And what did you do as a result of that, becoming part of that investigation?
We just started working the conspiracy into the investigation. If it was called detail records, phones, interviews, it could be all kinds of facets.
Specifically, did you become involved in the investigation of Mr. Hernandez Govan?
I did.
And what did you do as a result of the investigation? Did you do anything separate from the general investigation?
As far as like Title III or...
Did you collect call detail records?
Yes, we collected all detail records, phones, you name it, we collected it on this investigation.
Okay. And did you analyze those records?
We did.
And what did you do to analyze?
I use a software called Penlink or PLX, which just makes it easier, one, to create reports and then analyze the records. Generally, in just bring it, because they all come in UTC. You can kind of get the records in more of a coordinated time. But we also analyze the actual raw records too, just to verify.
And did you prepare a PowerPoint presentation to help explain to the jury what you looked at when you analyzed it?
Yes, it's called detail records and phone.
If we could pass this to Sergeant.
Any objection?
Sure, none.
Did you look at that and see if you recognize the contents of that envelope?
Yes.
And what does that depict?
It's just a thumb drive. It's got my PowerPoint on it. It's got my initials, my IBM on it.
Your Honor, if we could have the evidence as the next number.
We just asked when the PowerPoint was created for completion's sake of the exhibit.
What do you say?
When was the PowerPoint completed? Completed?
The final parts of it, with the specifically the records, was yesterday. They wanted extra.
And Your Honor, again, exit at the end and evidence as the next number. Excuse me.
This is an envelope containing what's being described as a thumb drive. It has Sergeant Browning's name on it, PPT. The red thumb drive on the inside. We'll mark this as Exhibit 25.
And for our jurors, this PowerPoint is comprised from exhibits 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. Commissioner Publishing.
Yes.
This is your presentation, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, we will go through it. No, it is small. Could you tell us Or if it would be better if with the court's permission, you can get down and explain what we are looking at here.
Okay, so this is going to be essentially a screenshot of the information associated to Justin Johnson's cellular device. So it's just I essentially take out the remove the important information for the PowerPoint purposes, like his IMEI, MZs, telephone numbers, things of that nature.
You named some things we have probably never heard of. Say that again.
So like the IMEI is the number that, it's essentially a serial number that belongs to the device, and then an MZ is generally a serial number that belongs to like your SIM card or your network. So we use those things to compare. And then telephone numbers. As you can see, I think on Justin Johnson, it has like his email address, which has maybe a partial of his name. So essentially, it just shows the things that are associated with that cellular device.
And also for the benefit of our jurors, they will have access to this PowerPoint. And this is Justin Johnson's number in 901-236-1625. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. We have another.
Yeah, so this is going to be same information but it's for Cornelius Smith's cellular device, which his last used number for that phone was 901-513-6236.
Right here.
Correct. And then this cellular device is one that belongs to Angela Arnold for the number of 901-370-0185. Primarily has the same information that you can use to compare.
So we have a date of July 27, 2021.
That's correct.
Is there any significance to that number, that date? Right?
For us, we found that was significant from the interview with Angela Arnold, Cornelius Smith. I'm sorry.
All right. What are we looking at here?
So on the 27th, you have essentially we take the call detail records in the software and we create a hot number list. So a hot number list would be, if you're looking at your phone, for me it'd be my girlfriend or my mom or my dad. That'd probably be your typical top 5 callers. It can vary, but it's just showing your top callers and down.
And this is for a particular day.
Yes, so I filtered it for that actual day, so it's not the totality of the records. It's just for that day. And this telephone number belongs to Justin Johnson, which is 901-236-1625. And then as you see, when we look at the records, his top caller is going to be a number that belongs to Hernandez Govan, and shows like 24 communications. The next number is going to be for Anthony Mims, and his telephone number is 901-692-2767. And as you can see, Hernandez Govan on that day, again filtered for the 27th, is around the 8th or 9th call. So he had 7 communications. So the significance for this is that on July 27, 2021, we look at Justin Johnson's cellular device. We find Hernandez Govan's telephone number. As you say, it's labeled Big Bruh Quet, and that was an incoming text message to Justin Johnson, and it's just an address of 4641 Bowenshire, which is still Smoke in Memphis. It's a shop owned by Anthony Mims and his business partner, Mr. Lambert. Can you go back? I apologize. And just to note, that time was at 1937-21, and it shows significance because he's getting the text from Govan, and then on the next slide you'll see Justin Johnson actually sends an outgoing iMessage to an individual we identified as Harry Lockhart, and he just says he's talking to Jug, indicating that maybe he's at the smoke shop and he's talking to Joe. And then you see at 21:08, 43 hours, Anthony Mims creates a phone contact for Justin Johnson, and that contact he labeled as Drop, which is an alias. It's a short alias of what we know Justin Johnson to be, just like a short alias we know Jook to be. He usually goes by Big Jook or Jook, and then we've heard referred to Drop, or his actual name that he uses is Straight Drop on YouTube and things of that nature.
So when you say he created a contact, he was putting the phone number into this phone.
Right, he created that contact to be at 7/27/2021, 9/8:47 p.m. He creates that contact. And then, as you see, 21:08, 49 hours, Justin Johnson creates a contact for Anthony Mims' telephone number and labels it Jook, which is the alias. So, both these individuals in relatively in the same time frame created contacts for each other. Again, indicating that they're probably within communication distance or in the same vicinity. So this is the following day, July 28th. So after that, and as you see here, so Justin Johnson, his cellular device shows an outgoing, so it's an iMessage to Jermaine Sears with the address of 3641 Allendale Lane. And then that same day at 17:24 hours, we have an incident at the, it was called the Double R Auto Services, and it's at 821 South Highland Street. And the two victims that just worked at the shop state that a tan BMW is being chased by a burgundy Dodge Charger. Three males get out of the Charger and start firing upon an unknown male and a female who remained in the car. The unknown male in the BMW fled. We were able to later identify that to be one Terrence Baker, his prints that hit on the car, but he never filed a police report or would communicate with officers about the incident at all.
So the victim was Terrence Baker, is that what you're saying?
Correct. He just wouldn't communicate with us or anyone. And as you see here, it's 17:24 hours. That address, the address at the shop, the 821 or 823 South Highland.
I think 833.
It's approximately, I had it on there, I can't read it because it's kind of far, 0.49 miles away, so it's not that far away.
You're talking about this address here, the 30.
So that address is actually 3645 Allendale. He sent a different address. If you go to the next slide.
Before we go to the next slide, you've indicated that the victim of the shooting was Terrence Baker.
Correct.
Does he go by any other name?
Yes, he goes by Woo,
Okay.
or Paper Route Woo.
And as part of your investigation, did you determine him to be a artist on
Yes,
PRE?
he's an artist. Sorry, he's an artist on PRE. As you see, so here is the actual address, the 3645 Allendale, and the address that Justin sent was right next door. So it was actually 3641. So he just had the address wrong. So later that day, 1804 hours, Mississippi finds the Dodge Charger. Witnesses on the scene say they see three males jump out and run. The vehicle was stolen. They then processed that vehicle, which came back with some APHIS hits. So the fingerprint, when they dusted the vehicle, they had prints come back as to be for Justin Johnson, Rashad Hill, and Cavius Wesley. And And then also they located a spent .40 caliber cartridge casing on the driver's side floorboard, and that spent cartridge casing showed to correlate with the cartridge casing found on the scene at the Double R shop over on South Highland Street. And then this is August 13th, so we get to this date from, again, Cornelius' interview. We look at the hot number list. We see that 859-1460, a number that belongs to Govan, had 12 communications with Justin Johnson on that day. It was a top caller.
Before we get there, go back just a bit. So we mentioned Cornelius. Do you know when Mr. Govan or Justin Johnson or Juke's number appeared with Cornelius? You were able to ascertain that information?
It would be hard to say just because, we get records for a certain amount of time. So I wouldn't be able to determine. I would be able to say a date just based off records we have, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they weren't communicating prior to that.
If you can or can't, the records that you have, when is the first time that you see any of the individuals appear in Cornelius's phone?
I don't know. I don't have that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So again, for this, it's the communications for Justin Johnson, and it's going to be on August 13th, 2021. And as you can see here for Justin, he's got 12 communications with Hernandez Govan, who's his top caller. And then this is going to be the same, so another hot number list for Cornelius Smith. Now, the number's different because he had this telephone number, same device, but different telephone number, which is 901-479-3786. I think on his device it showed that number was last used in September, so that means it's probably sometime he changes over to the number you saw earlier. And on that hot number list, you see Bobby Carter has 33 communications, which is about his third caller. And then Devin Burns is about a sixth caller. And then you have Hernandez Govan with 8 communications, about his 10th caller, 9 or 10th caller.
Let's see, his first one is Angela Arnold.
Correct. And then on this one we have Anthony Mims' hot number list, and again it's filtered for just the 13th. And as you can see here, Govan's number 4, I think that's 4 communications. He's actually 10, maybe 9 callers down, because you can see you have a bunch of unknown, and then you have number 2 callers, just a list of numbers. That's usually just information getting from the cell phone company and other things, like other traffic, but actual numbers, he's about number 9, 10. And then on August 13th at 13:45 hours, we have the 911 call where Terrence Baker's cellular device calls and says that he's at Allendale being shot at and he's hiding. They asked for his name, he refused to give it. He just told them to hurry up, they're coming after him. And then this will be communications with the conspirators that with Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith, and then the other individuals, Anthony Mims, Hernandez Govan, and any variation of their other numbers at that time. So as you can see, it's represented in color. Is essentially the light pink is going to be Hernandez Govan, the blue is Anthony Mims, and then on the left it's hard for me to see. I think I've got Justin Johnson is yellow, and then Cornelius Smith is green, just to kind of so you can see the kind of the flow of things. And so essentially on November 2nd, we had Justin Johnson had 7 communications with the cellular device that belongs to Govan, and then he had 4 communications.
And I'm sorry, are these in chronological order on the date?
Correct.
Okay. So Justin communicated with Hernandez Govan, then he communicated with Anthony Mims, then he communicated with Govan again, then he communicated with Mims again, and then he communicated with Govan again.
Correct.
Okay.
And then essentially this is just those call detail records, but the actual call detail records, which it's got like service codes, tower information. You'll see it has a version of the IMEI. It won't give you the actual IMEI. They kind of do some equation where they change the last 2 digits so people can't steal the IMEI off the records and create their own kind of their own service or their own account. So, but it just gives you a little bit more information. It can tell you call or voicemail if there's multiple users on one call, if they're doing 3-way, and things of that nature. And then again, as you can see, you have Justin Johnson in the yellow, Cornelius Smith in the green, and essentially it just kind of shows the way they're cut, like who they're communicating with, and the kind of the flow in chronological order how they're talking. So as you can see, Justin Johnson had 7 with Hernandez Govan. Justin Johnson had 4 with Anthony Mims, and then he had 0 with Cornelius. And then Cornelius had 20 communications with Hernandez Govan, but he had 0 with Justin and 0 with Anthony Mims. And then this is just the actual raw records that just depicts what that is. So at the top you have Justin Johnson's records, and then at the bottom you have Cornelius Smith's records. And again, another report showing that Justin Johnson had 7 communications with Hernandez Govan. On November 4th, he had 1 with Anthony Mims and 0 with Cornelius. And then Cornelius had 2 with Hernandez Govan, 0 with Justin Johnson, or Anthony Mims, and 0 with Justin Johnson. And then these are just again, you have Justin Johnson's records that you get from the cell phone company, and then you have Cornelius Smith's records that come with the cell phone company. Again,
For November 5th, 2020.
it's November 5th, and as you can see, it's harder for me to see, but in the yellow and the green, they're kind of throughout the day, but Justin Johnson has 1 communication with Hernandez Govan, 0 with Anthony Mims, and then he has 1 communication with Cornelius Smith. And then if you look on this side, Cornelius Smith has 4 communications with Hernandez Govan. He has 0 with Anthony Mims, and then of course 1 with Justin Johnson. And then these are those records that represent that. And then this is November 6th. You have Justin Johnson has 0 communications with Govan. He has 2 with Anthony Mims. He has 1 with Cornelius Smith. And then as you see, Cornelius Smith has 4 with Hernandez Govan, 0 with Anthony Mims, and then 1 with Justin Johnson. And then as you see, these are just the raw records representing those individual calls. Again, November 12th, you have 0 communications with Hernandez Govan. Justin Johnson.
Justin Johnson.
Yeah, Justin Johnson has 0 communications. He has 3 with Anthony Mims and 0 with Cornelius. And then Cornelius has 5 communications with Hernandez Govan. He has 0 with Anthony Mims and 0 with Cornelius Smith. And again, these are just the raw records that represent that report. And then November 15th, 2021, you have Justin Johnson has 0 communication with Hernandez Govan, he has 0 communication with Anthony Mims, but he has 14 communications with Cornelius Smith. And then on Cornelius Smith, he has 2 communications with Hernandez Govan, he has 0 with Anthony Mims, and then of course he has 14 communications with Justin Johnson. And then
Raw data.
this is just the raw data. And then November 17th, obviously, is the day of the homicide. So if we look at the hot number list on the day of the homicide, Cornelius Smith hot number list has 12 communications with Justin Johnson. It's about his fourth top caller. He has 11 with Hernandez Govan, and then he has 8 with Angela Arnold. And then if you look at Justin Johnson's, it's harder for me to read that, to be honest, because it's a little far if you don't mind me
Put
getting
my glasses on. So.
Yeah, because I can't see that far, I guess, through the glass. So on the 17th, Justin Johnson has 15 communications with Govan. It's like his third down if you remove the voicemail. And then you have 12 with Cornelius Smith. You have 11 with Angela Arnold. And then on down, he has 3 with Hernandez Govan. And only 1 communication over here on the right with Anthony Mims. So that's just further down the list.
Can you read that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is just going to be a call log, essentially taken from from Cornelius Smith's cellular device, and it's showing that he's communicating with Justin Johnson. Yeah, I'm going to have to get down. It's too tight. It's an incoming call, and then as you can see, he's got his contact listed as Little Brud Drop. Interesting. This is an incoming call just prior to the murder, and as you can see, when you look at their raw records, both of their call detail records show their cellular devices on a cellular tower at 1731 Cherokee Boulevard, and they both have the same tower azimuth, which is just essentially a direction on the tower of like a sector. So it would be like a compass. So 290 would be like, we have cones. And so they're both pointing on the same sector of the same tower, which is approximately 3.9 miles away from 1766 Wild Rose Street, which is where Cornelius lives. And then this is surveillance video of the homicide with Cornelius and Justin Johnson in the photos. And you can see that's at 12:23:01 hours. And Justin will be on the left and Cornelius is on the right. And then Dolph's brother shooting at that vehicle. Here we're showing Cornelius Smith's physical phone extraction, showing that there was no outgoing communications during that time frame. So his last outgoing communication, and before the homicide, was here we're showing Cornelius Smith's physical phone extraction, showing that there was no outgoing communications during that time frame. So his last outgoing communication, and before the homicide, was essentially, we had that incoming at 12:04, and then you see from that time period, it's all missed calls, and then he has an outgoing to Uncle Ron.
Let me stop you. The date on the top of this is August the 13th.
My bad.
Should that be November 17, 2021?
Yes, I apologize. That should be November 17th.
But the dates all here correlate.
Yeah, the dates are in the center, and as you can see, they have the times, and then below that, we have his call detail record. The records show so it shows right there at the 1804, so records come in UTC, so
What is UTC?
It's basically like universal time coordinated, so like they send the records, it's always going to be in that universal time coordinated. So we're in central time, so that would be, at this time period, would be 6 hours back. Right now it'd be like 5 hours back. So it just compensates for daylight savings and things of that nature. So, because they're going to send those records all over whoever needs them. And so it's just easier for the companies to send them out as one format. And so like you'll see on the phone, we've got it -6 on, and that's when I create those. I'm actually -6, and so it just makes more sense fluidly. And so at 1804, which really, it shows the incoming call, and then just a list of incoming calls, but then you also have some outgoing calls, but those outgoing calls are actually just the to his voicemail. And you can see on the far right, which is like, I guess, so 02A would be like forwarding, which means the phone is on, it got forwarded. No reply means after a couple rings, there's other anomalies, like if the phone's off, it'll have a different code or a different service. November 17th at 12:26, Justin Johnson has a FaceTime Anthony Mims at 12:26, 3 or 4 minutes after the homicide. And then right here, 12:39, 07 hours, you have communications. At 12, one is an outgoing call. At 12, incoming text. And then at 12, their outgoing call. And then you can see that below. You look at the text, 12, you go to the next slide, you can see 12:39, that text, which is just, she's Keona 52 Haven Court, the address to her. And then later at 12:47, Justin Johnson sending 47 message to a Jermaine Sears, a number that belonged to Jermaine Sears. And at 12, Johnson sends another iMessage that says, now. And then you have a response at 12:47. sends an incoming text message that says on. So 5802 is when it begins, but you see SUV pull in to the 2-lane apartments, or what's it? They got another name. The Gospel Garden Apartments. Then you see Justin Johnson next to Kiana Hooper, and then you see Cornelius Smith, who has the hoodie kind of draped over his shoulder. And they're going into Kiana Hooper's apartment. So this is going to be from Angela Arnold's cellular device, and this is going to be at 13:26:30 hours. And as you see, she has an incoming call from Justin Johnson, 901-236-1625. It's a 19-second call. And then you have another incoming call at 13:28:16 hours. It's a 12-second call. And then you have an instant message that comes in at 1:28:50 or 13:28:50 hours. And then below are the records that coordinate with that, with those, with her phone calls. And these are going to be her call detail records that are associated to her device. And then that text message, which was at 13:28:50, is again the address, which is 4752 Haven Court.
Justin Johnson sent this to Angela Arnold's phone.
Justin Johnson's device.
Justin Johnson's device.
Correct.
Sent it
For
to
telephone
Angela
number.
Arnold's
Yes.
device.
Yes. Again, here you see Angela Arnold's phone extraction. She gets another incoming call at 13:55:11, and it's a 29-second call, and then that's represented down here at the bottom for her call detail records. And then as you see, 13:56, Angela Arnold arrives in the black SUV at 4752 Haven Court. And I think you see him coming outside as Justin's in the middle with the yellow hoodie. Cornelius has the black hoodie with the black pants. And Keona's just right behind him. And then you see Cornelius get in the passenger side of Angela Arnold's vehicle. So now November 17 at 14:07 hours and 15 seconds, Angela Arnold's cellular device showed an outgoing SMS message to a telephone number that belonged to Justin Johnson. That SMS message stated, "This is Steve, bruh. Send me bruh number so I can get my phone." That's then followed by another SMS message, which is at 14:13:21 from Angela Arnold's cellular device, and it says Quez number. Then we have November 9th, 2021, or 19th, I'm sorry. And this is just showing that Justin Johnson at 12 in the morning was searching, Cornelius Smith, was doing a Google search for 24-hour AutoZone.
So this is what, like 12:17 in the morning, like
Correct.
midnight.
Or no, 12:17 seconds. So at 12 in the morning. And then at 12:01 in the morning, you see Justin Johnson shows an outgoing call to a number or Cornelius, I'm sorry. Cornelius shows an outgoing call to AutoZone Auto Parts. And that comes back to the AutoZone Auto Parts at 5945 Winchester Road. Again, you'll see
Cornelius.
at 12:09 or 0900 hours, Cornelius Smith's cellular device showed an incoming call that belonged to Justin Johnson, and he has the contact name labeled Little Bruh Drop. It's a 33-second duration call. Then at 12:10 a.m. or 1000 hours, you have Cornelius Smith's cellular device showing 3 outgoing calls to a telephone number that belonged to Hernandez Govan. And you can see again that's labeled bruh for the 901-618-3848 telephone number. And it's an outgoing call. It shows 2 minutes and 40-second duration. You have another outgoing call at 12:18. So the first one was at 12:10. The next one's at 12:18 a.m. It's a 1 minute and 9 second call. And then you have at 12:35 a.m. you have a 7 second duration call. It's an outgoing call. And then below are just the records that correlate with what was on a cellular device. Then on so at 0647 hours or 6:47 a.m., Cornelius Smith's cellular device showed an incoming call from a number that belonged to Hernandez Govan, and that was 18 seconds long. And then those are the records that correlate with that communication. And then at 0701 hours or 7 a.m., Cornelius Smith's cellular device does a Google search for AutoZone on Lamar. Then at 0703 hours or 7:03 a.m., Cornelius Smith's cellular device showed an outgoing call to a telephone number that belonged to Hernandez Govan. There was no duration on that call, and as you see, like there's no duration on the records, and it does show like an abnormal completion, which could be a various of disruptions or problems that just correlates with that call. Again, it's 7:08 or 0700 hours, 7:08 a.m. He has another Google search, which is the universal car cover. And then later at 1847 hours, there's an image of an AutoZone receipt that's extracted from his phone, and you can see that the capture time was on 11/20/2021 at 6:47 p.m. And then we have December 2nd, 2021. And so Angela Arnold's cellular device showed an outgoing Instagram chat to Anthony Mims. And essentially it says, "What's up, big bruh? I'm trying to get with you. I'm Govan, little homie. You met me before. I'm trying to let you hear my music if you don't mind giving me a call." And then he lists 901-370-0185, which is Angela Arnold's cellular device or her cellular phone number, and you see it's her Instagram chat for participants, and then above that is Juke the Boss, which is his Instagram. And then that's it.
Your analyzation of the phones, would you say the conspirators or the individuals listed Justin Johnson, Cornelius Smith, and would they communicate more to Govan than with each other?
I think that it started as a lot of communications between Govan, but as you saw, as it gets closer to the day of the homicide, those communications then seem to be more between Cornelius Smith and Justin Johnson, and not Govan.
And then after the homicide?
I would say most of the communication. I know that Cornelius was communicating through Justin Johnson's brother. Because Justin Johnson was doing something weird with his phone where his brother had the phone, but he was just trying to avoid getting in trouble with his parole. So you see that Cornelius is communicating with his brother. But I don't think Hernandez was communicating with any of them that I know of, or Mims. I think all communication was done with Mims.